The wind howled against the cracked windows of Blackwood High, carrying the scent of rain and rot. The school had been abandoned for decades, yet tonight its halls would host something alive. A group of 5 seniors dared each other to sneak inside, their flashlights slicing through the fog as they pushed the heavy doors. The hinges groaned like something waking from sleep. They laughed nervously, their voices echoing in the hollow lobby. The peeling paint hung like old skin, dust coated every locker. The smell of mildew and rust filled their throats. Maya led the way, her phone camera recording. She wanted proof of their courage. Behind her walked Tyler, Jordan, Becca, and Chris. Their sneakers squeaked on the wet linoleum floor. They passed the trophy case, glass shattered long ago, golden figures missing their heads. A forgotten banner read, "Homecoming 1979. Its colors dulled and stained. The letters seemed to bleed under the dim light. A sudden slam echoed from above. Footsteps dragged across the ceiling. They froze. Tyler forced a laugh, insisting it was rats, though his voice trembled. They moved toward the stairwell. Each step groaned under their weight. Cobwebs brushed their faces. Something wet dripped onto Becca's shoulder. She shone her light upward, finding a dark stain spreading across the ceiling tiles. The hallway upstairs was colder. Their breath fogged the air. The lockers were dented and scratched, numbers carved into the metal. Some looked fresh, as if done only hours before. Maya whispered that the janitor once murdered students here. Her words made Jordan scoff, yet his hands clenched tighter around his flashlight. The story felt too alive in the silence. They entered a classroom, desks overturned, papers scattered, chalkboard covered in faint scribbles. When Maya's light caught the board, the words rearranged themselves, spelling stay. Becca screamed. The chalk fell from the ledge, rolling across the floor. Chris swore he saw a hand retreat into the shadows. The temperature dropped sharply. Their breath came in clouds. They ran back into the hallway. The door slammed behind them, locking from the inside. Tyler pulled at the handle, but it refused to move. Something scraped along the floor inside the room. They hurried down the corridor, the sound of lockers slamming one by one behind them. Each metal door echoed like gunfire. The lights flickered, the ceiling tiles shifted as if something crawled above. Jordan yelled that they should leave, but when they reached the stairwell, the door was gone, replaced by unbroken wall, paint cracked like scars. Maya whispered that the building was changing. A bell rang, sharp and metallic. The sound reverberated through their bones. Though the power was dead, the chime repeated 3 times, and faint voices of children began to chant. "Detention, detention, detention." Becca clutched her ears. Tears streamed down her face. Shadows stretched across the walls, forming childlike figures with hollow eyes. They reached long fingers toward the group. Chris swung his flashlight. The beam passed through them, yet their mouths widened into black voids. Their chanting grew louder. The halls stretched impossibly long, lockers repeating like mirrors. Tyler grabbed Maya's arm, pulling her toward another classroom. They shoved inside, slamming the door. Desks piled against the walls. The blackboard displayed names scrawled in blood-like streaks. Each name belonged to a student who vanished years ago. Chris noticed a fresh one appearing. The letters spelled Becca. His voice cracked as he shouted, pointing at the board. Becca screamed louder. Her chest convulsed. Her veins darkened under her skin. Her eyes rolled back. She collapsed onto the floor, choking as invisible hands pressed against her throat. Jordan lunged to pull her up, but she went still. Her body stiffened, her mouth opened wide, and a deafening bell sound erupted from her throat, shaking the glass. The windows cracked, the door flung open. Becca's lifeless body dragged itself out, pulled by unseen strings. The others froze in horror. Their friend moved like a marionette. They chased her down the hallway, but she vanished into the gymnasium. The bleachers creaked. Banners fluttered though there was no wind. The scoreboard flickered numbers at random. In the center of the court, Becca stood, her neck twisted, her arms spread wide. The floor beneath her darkened as blood seeped from the wood, forming words around her body. "You are next," Maya sobbed, her phone still recording. The camera screen showed not 4 survivors, but only 3. One of them already missing, though Chris stood right beside her. She turned to look, but Chris was gone. His flashlight rolled across the floor. Spinning to a stop, the beam pointed at a figure in the bleachers. It was Chris, but his face peeled away, revealing hollow sockets, his chest split open. Inside was nothing but a dangling school bell, swinging slowly. Tyler dragged Maya toward the exit, Jordan close behind. They pounded on the locked doors, glass shattered, but behind every window lay another hallway, endless and repeating. The chanting resumed. "Detention! Detention!" Louder and faster, their ears bled from the noise. Shadows poured from the ceiling, twisting into tall skeletal figures draped in torn uniforms. Jordan fell, skeletal hands wrapped around his ankles, dragging him backward. He screamed until the sound gurgled, his head slammed against the floor, his body vanished into the dark. Only Maya and Tyler remained, sprinting through the endless halls. Walls shifted, classrooms repeated. The same posters appeared again and again, each now smeared with crimson words. "Stay forever." They burst into the library, shelves towering above, books scattered across the floor. Dust rose like smoke. A figure sat at the librarian's desk, head bowed, hands folded. As they approached, the figure lifted its face, skinless, eyes gone, a grin stretched impossibly wide. The librarian whispered, "You are late for class." And the bells screamed overhead. Books flew from the shelves, slamming into them. Pages sliced their skin. Tyler shielded Maya, but the librarian pointed, and Tyler was lifted into the air, bones cracking loudly. His body twisted, folding into a desk. Wood sprouted from his limbs. His face froze in a silent scream. He became furniture, part of the classroom forever. Maya shrieked, stumbling backward. Her camera fell, still recording. The red light blinked, capturing everything. The librarian's voice slithered through the air. One left, the final lesson. She ran blindly, every hallway a maze. The bell never stopped ringing. Her ears bled, her vision blurred. Shadows reached for her, whispering promises of rest. Finally, she crashed into the principal's office. The door slammed shut behind her. The desk sat untouched, a dusty intercom on top. The room smelled of rot and smoke. She picked up the intercom mic, begging for help. Her voice echoed through the halls, distorted, coming back to her like another person mocking her words. The shadows filled the office, pressing against the glass. The intercom clicked, and a calm voice spoke. "Class dismissed," as the ceiling collapsed, burying her in darkness. The camera survived, cracked but intact. Later discovered by police investigating the ruins, they found no bodies, only footage ending with a bell toll and the sound of children laughing. Blackwood High remains sealed. Locals whisper of lights inside at night, of chanting that drifts across the empty football field, and of a bell that never stops ringing.